Hi everybody, this is my Applique Basics tutorial episode 5. So far we've prepared 3 different patches. Today we're going to do the 4th heart, and today is Starch method. And we're going to make this wreath with the hearts in the end. Okay, let's get on to the preparing the starch. As we did before, we're going to have to put the, make a template. We have our cardboard template, and on the back side of your fabric, you trace around your template with your mechanical pencil. And this is funny, but I forgot to bring in the starch. Okay. What I also did earlier, before I turned on the camera, is I made myself a template with a cardstock, like a greeting card, or I have cardstock, but to print greeting cards. It's a thinner cardboard, and we're going to use it because you could use the box board, but this just gives a finer edge when you're preparing your patch with the starch. And as I mentioned the other week, we are also going to use a small paintbrush, or a cotton swab would also work. Now, before I go get my starch, I'm going to cut the patch out. Like last week when I cut it too close, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to make sure I leave myself plenty enough room to put it over the edge of the cardboard. So I'm going to go closer to a 1/4 inch trimming as opposed to 1/8 of an inch. With applique, that's the nice thing. You don't have to be exact. It's just whatever you put over to the back, so it can be any size really, but what you do want to do is not have too much bulk, which is why going smaller is preferred. There. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. I put some spray starch in a little container. I will include in the description, again, a home version. You can make your own starch to make this with just water and cornstarch. Okay. Now, I didn't show this part before I went away. You do still need to clip in, and I brought the scissors this time. You still need to clip in to that indent, just one thread away. All right, ironing mat. Turn my iron on. If you have a mini iron, that would be best, just for maneuverability. So basically, you put the cardboard that you're going to use as your absorption. The reason this cardboard you're using it is to absorb the liquid of the starch as you flip it over the edge. So let me see, iron hot, yes. Okay, so with your brush, you just get some, you can see that? Probably not. You just dip your brush into the starch, and we like to start at the point, so make ourselves a nice crisp point. So you just brush on the starch onto the seam allowance, like so. And then you start with the point, oops. Start with the point first and press it up. And then I'm going to brush a little further ahead here. Now, in my quilting time, I've taught this method, but the only time I've ever really used it in my personal quilts is it worked really, really well to keep the seam allowances turned over when I was making windows, the window frames for my pictorial houses. So I really loved using it then, and that's when I first started using it. But since then, I still go back to my basting method for 99% of my quilting, or my applique. Okay. Now, because I did the bigger seam allowances, the seam allowance is bulkier, of course, but it's not as fiddly, so okay. I'm just scared it's going to get knocked. Now, I have to say that when I've done this before, I don't know why, but the seam allowance stayed better before. It's not staying as good now. I wonder if it's because my starch is old. That's a possibility, I suppose. It's that bottle that I took it from is like 25 years old, maybe? I don't even know if it's still available. Do they sell it anymore? I have no idea. Okay. So just for, yeah, it's not as good as I would prefer. Oh well. Okay. So then you flip it to the front. Give it another good press just to get your edges firmly over. And then you, like you did with the freezer paper, you take the template out And you can reuse this if you do another second heart with the starch. There, that actually went very well. Do I sound surprised? Yeah. Okay. This will bug me. So when I actually applique it, those extra points, that there and that there. So probably what I'll do is when I applique it, I'll fudge that in better. Because I'm not sure I can get it now, but I guess I could attempt it. Okay, that looks like it might be better. A little better. So if there are little extra not so smooth parts, you can always, as you're doing your blind stitch and you're putting it onto the background, you can adjust. And that's another great thing about hand applique. It's by hand, you can adjust it. You can take out your stitch if it's not exactly where you like it without being too fussy about it. All right, that's it for this week. Next week, I'm going to talk about the background and how we set up the background so we can start laying down our patches and start stitching them. We have 4 done now. We need 8 altogether. What you can do is, out of the 4 we've made, you can make 4 more in your favorite method, whether it's the basting, the leave one, I've got them right here, leave one just plain, or the freezer paper. There, I've got 4 so far. I'll prepare 4 more before next week, and then I'll show you how to get them onto the background. And then after that, we'll work on the bow, which is going to give us 2 new versions. One is a reverse applique and one is a puffy applique. And then past that series, past making the wreath, I have a few extra versions of how to prepare patches that have nothing to do with this wreath, but I'll give you a tutorial just to show you that there are other methods as well. Okay, so you make your starch template, you make your patch with the starch, you prepare 4 other hearts, and next week we're going to talk about putting them on the background. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Bye.